Story time to when I found out my sugar daddy and my best friend were sleeping together. So my sugar daddy would always give me money and would take me out shopping. And I obviously would share this with my two best friends. He would also take me to visit different cities with him, and I would take them as well. And sometimes I would just go alone with him. Anytime I didn't take my two best friends, there would always be one that would get mad. I really didn't understand why. She would always ask me why I didn't take them. One day I had her phone and I found out that he was texting her. So I asked her why she had his number. She told me that he gave her his number just in case he couldn't reach me, which was pretty awkward because I would always have my phone. One day my sugar daddy and I were supposed to go out of the city, and I was calling and texting him and he wouldn't answer. So I went to hang out with my two friends. But that same girl that had his number wasn't home. Follow for part 2. Part 2 on how I found out my sugar daddy and my best friend were sleeping together. Let's name my sugar daddy Tom. Let's name my friend that was texting my sugar daddy Maria, and my other friend Linda. Linda and I were text messaging Maria to see where she was. She wouldn't answer our calls or our text messages. Linda said, "What if Maria and Tom are together?" Because she knew I found out that they were texting. I didn't pay much attention to that and just went on with my day. Later that night, I was going to sleep over my friend's house, so we were walking from my house to her house. From Linda's house, we could see Maria's house, and we saw my sugar daddy's car parked outside her house. Then we saw her getting out of the car and going in her house. Next day, we asked her where she was, and she said that she was with some friends. So since she lied to us, we confronted her. She denied the whole thing, said that we were crazy, even though we saw her. Follow for part 3. Part 3. After that day, she wouldn't hang out with us anymore. A few weeks go by, and I'm texting and calling my sugar daddy, and he won't answer. So I called him from a private number. And when he answered, I asked him what was going on. He said, "I know everything." I asked him about what. He said that Maria told him that I was talking to someone and that I was sleeping with someone else. But I didn't really care, so we just stopped talking. Then I found out he got her a condo, and they moved in together. One day, I received a call from him saying that he misses me and that he wants to get back with me. And I obviously said no. And about a year after that, he was bankrupt, lost all his money, didn't have where to live, and had to move into her mom's house with her. Karma's a bitch. Story time on how I found out I was dating a psychopath. So we're gonna call him Jake. So 5 months into the relationship, he started acting weird. He would show up at work unannounced and said that he came to visit me because he missed me. Even though 5 out of 7 days, I would sleep over. One day I texted him and said, "Hey, I have to work overnight, can't see you tonight." And he got really mad. He called me a liar and said that I was cheating on him and that I was a whore. We got into an argument and I didn't talk to him for the rest of the day. I was at work at 9 and he texted me at 10 p.m. telling me that he was outside and that if I wasn't lying, that I would go out and see him. So I went outside and I told him that this can't continue and that we had to take a break. And that was a really bad mistake. I walked away, and as I was walking away, my phone was blowing up, like for part 2. Part 2 on how I found out I was dating a psychopath. So as I was walking away, my phone was blowing up. And guess who it was? Jake. In the text messages, he was telling me that I was a whore, that I was a slut, and that I was going to pay for what I did. At this point, I was really scared and I really did not know what to do. The next day, I was at home because I had already worked in overtime, and he showed up at my door. He was pounding the door and screaming my name so I would come out. And I obviously did not. I grabbed my phone and I texted him and told him that if he did not leave, I would call the cops. So he left. The next week after that, he would non-stop call me at my job. Until one day that my manager picked up the call and threatened him to call the cops. And since I didn't answer his phone calls, he would just stop by. Like for part 3 on how I was dating a psychopath. At this point, I was really scared to even go out anywhere. And I had to look twice every time I would leave my house or leave my job. Because I was scared that he would be outside waiting for me. I didn't explain this at the beginning, but I had roommates. And I had to explain to them that if they saw him, not to open the door. One day I was in my room minding my own business, and he just walked in my room. He started going on how he loved me and that he didn't want to lose me. Like I said, at this point I was really scared, so I just told him, if he does not leave my house, I will be calling the cops. And he did not want to leave. Long story short, I ended up calling the cops. I had to get a restraining order against him. And even though with the restraining order, I was scared to ever leave my house or leave my job if I was alone. Like and follow for more story times. Story time on how I almost got killed. So I was living at my friend's house, and he decided to rent out his extra room. And he rented it out to a guy and his girlfriend. So the girl was turning 21 and she wanted to throw a party. My friend said, yeah, sure, and we went out camping that weekend. We got back Sunday afternoon and decided we would just chill and order some pizza. After dinner, I decided to go up to my room and watch some TV. After about 30 minutes, I heard a knock and my friend opened the door and 5 guys come rushing in the house. These 5 guys had bats, pipes, and machetes. I didn't really know what was happening, but I could hear my dogs barking. My friend calls me downstairs, and I was walking down the stairs. I see 2 guys at the front door. I walk down the stairs, and halfway, one of them tells me if I get any closer, he'll cut me. But little did they know that I had a gun. Follow for part 2. Part 2 on how I almost got killed. So I ran to my room and grabbed my gun. As I was walking down the stairs, 2 of them saw my gun and ran out the door. The other 3 were still in the kitchen. So I walked to the kitchen pointing my gun. 2 of them ran out the front door while I was chasing the last one. So I chased the last one down the hallway. He ran out the door, and as he was running out the door, one of my dogs grabbed his leg and bit him. The other 4 dudes get in their car and drive away, leaving the one that got bit behind. He started chasing the car, and I was still chasing him with my gun. And he managed to get away. After all that, we found out that he was at the couple's party and he got into a fight with our other roommate over some beer. And yes, we filed a police report. Like and follow for more story times. Crazy story time about the time I found my sister and my cousin hooking up. So like every year for the holidays, our family would get together and we would have a big family reunion every year. Now before I get started with the story time, this cousin, we would never see him at family reunions. But this year he decided to come. So him and his sister stayed at our house. On Christmas Eve, we made a big dinner, and that was at our uncle's house. So after dinner, my cousin, let's call him Billy, said, "Oh, I want to go to bed." So my sister said, "Okay, I'll take you home." They asked me if I wanted to go, but I said no. I said I'll catch up to them in a bit. So they went home. About 20 minutes after that, my sister texts me and tells me to let her know when we are on our way. Like and follow for part 2. Part 2 on how I found my sister and our cousin hooking up. So around 1 a.m., exactly 2 hours after my sister left, I decided I wanted to go to bed. But I completely forgot that she told me to let her know when I was on my way. So I get home and the front door is closed. But we always leave our back door open. So I walked in the house, walked to my sister's room, and I see her and my cousin doing the nasty. I was completely shocked and I just walked away. 20 minutes after that, they come and sit down next to me in the living room like nothing happened. After like 10 minutes of silence, my sister tells me that our parents cannot know. And he said that he knew it was wrong, but they've liked each other for a very long time. And I told them that I wouldn't tell our parents, but they would have to. She got mad at me and asked me why I couldn't keep her secret. Like and follow for part 3.